Nicky, again, you've talked about pace and power in wide areas. I'd say probably Harry Baker's the only one that we've got in the squad at the minute. How do you rate Harry, and do you see him part of, obviously you say he's part of the long-term plans, he's here at the club, but is he a player that you want to build around in those wide areas?
Yeah, I mean, Harry, he's the quickest player we've got. I think Harry, by his own admission, is a confidence player. You know, he needs to be high on confidence, otherwise he doesn't offer us what we need from him. The only criticism I'd have with Harry is sometimes he doesn't give us an end product. You know, he's quick, he'll be direct, but how many crosses does he get in the box? How many corners does he draw? How many throw-ins? How many times does he get an end product? And he knows that we want him to improve at that, and we're working hard with him on the training ground to try and do that. He needs one-on-one coaching, I think, Harry. And again, that goes back to the time issue we've got. We get the players twice a week for 2 hours each time, 4 hours, and we've got 23 players to service within that time. So we're certainly trying to work hard with Harry, and we think he will improve. But you know, we've just got to be patient, because you can't just turn someone into a very good player overnight. But you know, when Harry has a good day, then we certainly are a better team.
Hi, yeah, this is to the chairman. Do you know, I spoke to the chap in the club shop about, you know, the club shirts, the home shirts and that. Are you considering, with how delayed they've been, and maybe changing the people who manufacture and distribute the shirts to make sure they actually arrive on time when they're due to arrive? Because from the understanding I got from the chap in the club shop, he was being told they're going to be here this week, and a couple of weeks later he was being told it's going to be there next week. Are you considering maybe reviewing who's going to be in charge of home shirts, etc.?
In a word, yes. We had a very successful season with our shirt manufacturer last year, delivered good quality products on time. This year we've had all sorts of issues with delivery, the youth teams, delivery of their kit, the academy kit, our kit. It's gradually coming through. It will come through, I'm sure, in the next 3 to 4 weeks in total, but of course for us and for a supporter that's paid for a shirt or wants a shirt, it's not a lot of cop. So I think it's safe to say that we will be considering very seriously where we go with kit next year. I bought the players a new set of tracksuits myself from another supplier 2 or 3 weeks ago because I wasn't happy with the tracksuits that were supplied. So that gives you an idea of where we are with the kit manufacturer at the moment.
A year from now, would you still have a first team and not a reserve team?
The reason that we stopped having a reserve team is very simple. Well, it's not simple, but it's straightforward. The standard that our reserves were playing in was a very low standard of football. And managers were reluctant to put players from the first team into that standard of football for 2 reasons. One, the injury, oh look, he's a Dover first team player, let's go and kick him. And secondly, because the disciplinary procedure in that league was dealt with by the Kent FA and not by our own first team authorities. And a player that came into trouble with a referee that probably wasn't that good or that experienced could find himself with a 35 or 38 day suspension for something which would normally be a 1 match or 2 match ban. Coupled with that, a lot of players that were playing in our reserve sides were 20, 25, 28, 30, with no prospect of playing in the first team. And it was felt that the best environment for youngsters to be developed to a point where they could play for the first team was through full-time coaching. And that's why we went the academy route for reserve players. And I'm glad to report that that's starting to bear fruit now. And we will see, I'm sure in the very near future, at least one academy player sign a contract with the football club, and I think he's got a very bright future. I won't say too much about that because it's not going to happen for another few weeks, but the academy's full-time coaching, it's a professional as it can be environment. It's much more closely linked to what occurs in the first team. Mike Sandeman, the director of coaching there, works with these guys and comes to games and helps with coaching. And the board felt that that was a much better way to develop young talent. To be quite honest, we got players in the first team that are 17, 18 years old, 19 years old. If you're 25 and you haven't made it, you're not likely to make it, to be fair. And that was the thinking behind it. My personal opinion is that until we can find an environment where a reserve team is playing a better standard and actually contributing to the club as a first team, it's not worth our while. But Nicky may have a different view. I've not discussed it with him.
No, not really. No.
There you go. The manager agrees with me.
You're saying about raising funds, etc., for the player and the general running of the club. Is there any plans afoot to actually utilise this place a bit more?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's down to you guys. I mean, we've put on here, and Roger will testify to this, we've had gentlemen's evenings, comedy nights, bingo, I can't remember, various, lots and lots of different events. The youth section have put on gentlemen's evenings, and frankly, they've been very poorly supported. And we're quite happy to put on an event a week. Band nights, we've tried that. We feel that we priced it at a reasonable price as far as we could. People just don't seem to want to attend those sort of events. And we found that the best route for us to use this place is for private hire. That's been successful to a point. We would dearly love to use it, on a more regular basis if it was supported, but we have tried it. Yeah, I mean, Nicky's just said to me that we've made sure the players come in here after the game to make sure they're available to chat and have a drink with the supporters. Unfortunately, there's no supporters in here. So, it really is down to the supporters, whether they use it or not. And we'll put on any event you want us to, as a group of people, providing it's well enough supported that we don't make a loss. So that's the answer to that.
Yes, to Nicky, what's your plan of attack against Dartford away, as it's a big game?
Yes, it is. Well, we'll go with the same frame of mind that we try to go with any game. We want to, as I say, start the game well. We want to take the game to them. We want to create chances for the forward boys. I think the two boys, to be fair, Simo and Walks, have played well. I think when we came in, the two on paper that looked like possibly the first two choice strikers, Purcell and Bricknell, they haven't responded as well as Donovan and James have. And I think, if we can get good service into those two, they will score goals. And we will try and do that. We know that Dartford is a very big game for us. We need to push ourselves just that little bit closer again to that fifth spot. And, we know that we've had 2 losses in the league over the last couple of games, so we know it's a big game. And I think that's why this Saturday is important, because although it's a break from the league, it's a game that we feel we've got a bit of a score to settle. We really didn't perform well on the day, so we need to win that one, and that will set us up for a big game.
Question for Nicky. I think we all agree that Woking will probably win the league this year, but which other 3 teams, along with ourselves, at the end of the year, do you think will be in the playoffs?
I think that Welling, a strong team. I think that they will be up there. Brownie is not so convinced, are you, with them? But right, okay. I think that Dartford will drop, but remain to be seen, obviously. And another, whichever one, I don't know. Sutton, not sure. Chelmsford, not sure. But us, I think if we can get our home form sorted out, then we've got a very, very good chance of just landing inside those 4 playoff places. Our key is to get 2 points per game. Since we've been here, we've just got shy of that in the league. In the 11 games, you're factoring in the cup games. If you've got 3 points for those, we're hitting 2 points per game, and that will get us in there, we think.
To Nicky again. Against Boreham Wood at half-time, obviously you weren't that happy. What was the thinking of sending the players straight back out onto the field?
Well, it was a frustration from us that we were well below par. We were disappointed with a number of things, and we told them so, and they were all sat around in the dressing room and winding me up, if I'm honest. So I said, get out there and go and have a run, have a warm-up, and try and put this right, because it really wasn't good enough. And I didn't want them just to sit down, just to sort of slouch shoulders, mope about, have a downward expression on themselves. I said, get up, get out, go and have a warm-up, go and do something that you think is going to spur you to improve your performance in the second half. So it was nothing more than that,
Do you think it worked?
I think that we had 3 criminal acts on the day of defending, which cost us 3 goals. Going into that game, we sat on the coach and showed the chairman the form, our form in defensively, and we were top of the league. We were the top of the league in defence. But we didn't, I think we scored very, very early, and we thought, we're going to be all right here. We were just off the back of a very good result the week before, and I think we thought, we're going to be okay. And I think there was a little bit of casualness. I think within 5 minutes of going 1-0 up, we were 2-1 down, and the manner of the goals were so poor that I think they really knocked us. We were thin on the ground as well, with Ollie Schultz being missing. Tom Winter was playing in an alien position for me, and we didn't recover. Ed didn't have a particularly good game. Nathan was thrown in and struggled fitness-wise, and I think too many players on the day didn't perform. And I've said, I've coined the phrase "bad day at the office," and we'll put it down to that, because too many players. We had 7 or 8 players that didn't perform on the day. I thought Southers was fantastic. I thought James Walker played well again. But other than that, you can't carry 7, 8, 9 players in a team and expect to do well.
A question to Jim as well. Why do you think the attendances have dropped this season? I
think if you look around the leagues, I think it's in line with what's happening around. They haven't dropped that much, to be fair. The fact that we've fared better than some clubs, I think it's just in the main. I think performances on the pitch will always improve attendances, and in the end, what defines the success of a club is the amount of people that walk through the gate. And the more wins we get, the better we are on the pitch, the more people will walk through the gate. So I think it's a combination of the current economic environment and the fact that some of our home performances haven't been as we would like. So, that's really the bottom line.
What's the attendances that you would like?
We budgeted this year for just over 1,000. That's what we should be getting. If you look back, interestingly, we were looking the other day back at previous conference campaigns when we were in, I think it was 92, 93, or 93, 93. We were averaging probably no more than about 900. We were getting some crowds well over 1,000 against the big derby games, where in those days more people travelled. We don't get any away support hardly at all now. But we're not so far different to when we were in the conference before, but we are probably a couple of hundred people below where we would like to be, yeah.
This is actually a question to the fans in here right now. All of you have
to the fans, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
All of you have done your utmost to get the attendances up, but it isn't up to you, because the fans are the people who walk through the gate. And really, every person in this room right now needs to get out there, tell their friends about Dover and what a brilliant club it is. Right now we need to do that and bring a friend to every match you come to, because without you and without fans we can't do anything. It ain't up to them, and this is going to stop now. Let's raise our attendances for Dover Athletic!
What's your name?
Thomas West.
Thomas, do you want a job? Yeah, you can get it at the moment, I'm telling you. Thank you, Thomas. Anybody else? No? Okay, well, we'll probably wrap it up now then. And just like to thank everybody very much for coming along. Thanks for the sensible questions and, not giving us too much of a hard time. Rest assured that everybody on the board and involved with the management team continue to strive towards success and the goals of conference football eventually, but we can't do it without you guys. And I hope I've gone some way to explaining tonight how it is important that everybody takes on board. It's a joint thing, and we can't do it without the supporters and the town getting behind us. And how far we go depends. It doesn't depend on what I do or what the guys do on the pitch. It depends upon what you guys do and what the town want. If the town want a successful football club and are prepared to get behind it, then the sky's the limit. But it really is a two-way street. But thanks very much for coming. We'll be around for a little while for a drink, so we'll see you at the game next time. Thanks very much.